Hello again, it's Miss Austin, back for part 2 for law of cosines. This time we are going to use law of cosines to find an angle. So how do you know when to use law of cosines to find an angle? Well, if you watch the first video, the law of cosines formula has 3 sides and 1 angle in it. So in order to use the law of cosines formula, or to solve any equation, you can only have one unknown. So if you have 3 sides and 1 angle, I'm going to have to know all 3 sides. So we use law of cosines when we have 3 sides, SSS, if you remember that from geometry. The way the formula is written, you can use it this way. You would just plug in your 3 sides right here, and you would leave this as your unknown. And then you could isolate this every single time and get the answer. I prefer to show how to get the formula rearranged ahead of time, and then you can plunk everything in. So I'm just going to go through a real quick example of how you end up getting this angle right here by itself. So first of all, I'm going to get rid of a squared and b squared. They're both being added, so I'm going to subtract a squared and b squared at the same time. So those are both going to end up over here. So let me write what I have. I'm going to come over here. So I have c squared minus a squared minus b squared equals negative 2ab times the cosine of c. I'm trying to get this alone. Okay, well that's being multiplied by negative 2ab. Well, so I'm going to divide. That'll wipe that out. I'm going to divide by negative 2ab. And now you have this, the angle, which is what you're looking for, all by itself. So you won't have to rearrange when you're solving the problem. So I'm going to write this out. Again, you don't want to get caught up with the letters. This capital letter is the angle you're looking for. The other 3 letters are all lowercase, which mean they stand for the 3 sides of the triangle. One thing I like to point out is whatever angle you're looking for, I don't care what letter it is, that the side across from that goes first, and that's the only time that side is used in the formula. Oops. So if you're looking for angle C, side C goes here, and that's the only time you use side C. And then it's the other 2 sides, the other 2 sides. If you were looking for angle A would go first, and it would be the other 2 sides. Okay, a couple tricky things with a calculator when you're trying to type this in. You have to be careful if you want the calculator to divide by all of this, you need to put parentheses. And also we need to remember if we're looking for an angle, at the end we need to do the inverse of cosine to have us, so it can tell us what the angle is. All right, let's jump into a couple. So it says, find the measure of angle A. So I've got my 3 sides, and I'm looking for this angle right here. So the cosine of A is equal to whatever side or angle, you're looking for, that side goes first. 10 squared minus, now it's just the other 2 sides. It does not matter which one you put first. 17 squared minus 11 squared all over negative 2. And then I just imagine these 2, you just drop these 2 down right here, times 17 times 11. Okay, now we want to practice typing this into our calculator. We want to make sure we're in degree mode. If you would like to type it in all at once, you're going to need to put parentheses around this and then hit divided by and parentheses around this. Sometimes I just do the top. I hit enter and then I divide by and then I do parentheses. So why don't you practice and make sure you can get the same thing as I do. 10 squared minus 17 squared minus 11 squared divided by, make sure you put that entire denominator in parentheses, and don't forget the negative, I got 0.0.8289. Okay, and you might think, well, what? That's how big the angle is? No, that's the cosine of some angle. Some angle has a cosine of that. So to get the calculator to tell you what angle that was, you need to do the inverse of that. And you can do this all on your calculator. You don't have to write this down. You can just right now hit second cos, and then if you still have this on your screen, you can just have the calculator recall the answer, or you can type it in. So second cos of the answer, I now know that angle A is approximately 34 degrees. It's common in working with triangles when you find missing angles to round to the nearest whole number and sides to round to the nearest tenth or hundredth. It depends on what the instructions are. I'm going to go with the nearest whole number. Okay, let's try another one. Find the largest angle in triangle RST with side lengths of 9, 12, and 18. So they are not giving us a picture, and I like to have a picture. Doesn't matter where I put this, RST, and they don't even tell me which ones correspond to which side, so I can put whatever I want. I'll do 9, 12, and 18. Now, it says the largest angle. So hopefully you might remember from geometry that the side length has something to do with the angle it's across from in a triangle. The bigger the angle, the bigger the side across from it. So if I'm looking for the largest angle, that's going to be across from the biggest side. So this one for me, it doesn't matter what letter it is. So I'm looking for angle T. Again, don't get caught up in the letters. The cosine of some angle I'm looking for. Since I'm looking for this one, I'm going to put 18 first in the formula, and that's the only time I'm going to write that. Now it's the other two. Minus 12 squared, minus 9 squared, all over negative 2. Drop these two down, 12 and 9. Okay? Practice typing that in. 18 squared minus 12 squared minus 9 squared divided by, don't forget to put the bottom in parentheses, negative 0.4583, repeating. That negative angle? No, that's the cosine of some angle. Some angle has an adjacent over hypotenuse of negative 0.4583, repeating. We want the calculator to tell us what angle that is. So we're going to hit inverse of that. Second cos, yeah, you hit second cosine. Couldn't remember if I told you that up there on the previous example. And so this angle, which I called angle T, is approximately 117 degrees, the largest angle. Some students might find them all and then see which one is the largest, but you want to be an efficient mathematician and remember the largest angle is across from the largest side. If they had asked me for the smallest angle, that would have been the one across from 9. I hope this helps you find the missing angles in a non-right triangle. I didn't record it